And he kited for a long time, but with so many members up and no front line to defend him, even with his fed state, final silencers can just brute force their way to him and kill him.
And it looks like that will close out game 2 of this round 4 of Redemption versus Custom Elite versus Final Silencers, leaving us one game for the Final Silencers to either win it or Custom Elite to try to make a comeback after this devastating game.
Absolutely. And it is going to be very crucial that we see which team is able to take the driver's seat. The first game, Custom Elite got the advantage and they ran with it, making it look completely easy. And then this game, we saw Final Silencers after, again, the same shaky early game that we saw in Game 1. They got the lead, and they were able to push with it. Both teams are fantastic in the driver's seat, but coming back from those deficits is something they both seem to struggle with. We will be seeing next game which team gets in the driver's seat, and what, in my opinion, is going to make the difference is if you can keep that calm enough mind in order to play even when you're at such a massive disadvantage.
Both these teams definitely know how to push their advantage. It's securing it to begin with.
Yeah. And then figuring out how to play when you don't have that gold lead. Custom Elite did a good job trying to close the gap, but Final Silencers was too in command of that game and kept on pulling a little more and a little more ahead, finally making it to the point where Custom Elite just couldn't keep up with them.
I agree. So going into this game, what do you think we got to see from members of both teams? Like Ari, what do you think she could have done differently maybe to prevent this Vygar from going off in such a big way?
I think what we need to see is, honestly, a lot of the focus has been on bot lane. What we need to see from Final Silencers, if they want to win, is their focus needs to be targeting that Lucian ban. If they can get that Lucian ban gone, that would resist the massive strength that has been had by the Custom Elite the previous 2 games. However, on the other hand, the mid lane last game was absolutely massive. That's a huge advantage the Final Silencers have. So they also, Custom Elite would need to figure out if there is any ban potential that they can get solidly against Final Silencers. It's essentially going to be different lanes focused by the teams, and honestly, I'm wondering if this will end up becoming a larger matchup based off junglers actually splitting their focus between mid and bot, leaving top on its own to sort out its own problems. But with these 2 teams, contrary to most teams today, the power has been in mid and bot with the carry roles, not in the tanks.
Yeah. And I'm wondering that this time around, if we are going to be seeing a Lucian ban, actually, if they're trying to keep the bans mid-oriented, are they more scared of that, or are they more scared of the Lucian that was almost able to one before their team at the end there?
Absolutely. If they can ban out that Lucian, that will definitely... We haven't seen a lot of extra pool from Custom Elite's ADC, so we don't know how he'll reply, but if Lucian is banned out, there is the chance that will put them on a back foot where they're not quite as comfortable with their play patterns. And again, a lot of this comes down to, can the teams get in the right mindset? Custom Elite now needs to shake off that loss and be confident going into this last game, because this is where it counts. Final Silencers, on the other hand, they did great. They're probably not on tilt, but what they need to do is make sure that they don't get overconfident based off that last game and fall into some simple mistakes like overextending or trying to push an advantage.
As is what we probably saw here with Custom Elite coming off a very strong game with over double kills in comparison to Final Silencers, thinking they had it and then they didn't, which comes as usually a big shot. So now they got to reorientate, think about what went wrong, and then try to fix it.
Absolutely, and I think that this will be a very satisfying series to watch. We have seen both teams in very dominant positions trading off that dominance in the first of the games of this series. And as it comes down to this game, it's just about, I think you're going to see a lot of early game picks and a lot of things focused on being able to assert that early game dominance. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw Ivern jungle again. Lee Sin was not as effective as you would want. I wouldn't be surprised if they end up pulling out an Elise jungle, for example, with that massive early game damage and CC potential with that stun that could snowball lanes in either team's favor. But again, we do not know the champion pools that these teams have and whether or not they're comfortable changing the playstyle of these more engaged tank-oriented jungles from Custom Elite and the more squishy and supportive with their ability roles that Final Silencers has, such as the Lee Sin kick and all of the CC and shields that are on Ivern.
Well, while they're contemplating what their next moves are to try to lock out this game for either's favor, we're going to take a quick couple-minute break here, let them figure that out, and we'll be right back.
Just stay tight, we have to go. Stay with me while we leave. Don't worry, just believe me. This journey will relieve us. Stay with me while we leave. Stay with me.
day I was born. I'm starting to forget how beautiful you are. What we have is not enough, is not enough. But we care to fight for love, to fight for love. What we have. Listen close to the voices singing to the rhythm of my blood, and they're begging me to follow myself home, where the air is clear, pure as diamonds, near the waters where the mermaids sing. Show me the sunlight burning the candles, looking into flames of gold. Found the Garden of Eden, tired of the homeland, searching from the day I was born. I'm starting to forget how beautiful you are. What we have is not enough.